Alright guys, so the fact that you've all let me, after 20 years, force me to make this video is a little annoying, but anyway, I thought if you need to do something right, you've got to do it yourself. So anyway, I have a YouTube-like background here to look sort of cool and fucking edgy. You know, I've got my collection there and my Xbox. I'm not going to be editing this though, so this is going to be red raw. Alright, so let's get right to it and be as quick as possible because my archive keeps deleting my videos. This is like the 5th time I've done this fucking video. So let's get into it. Alright, today we're talking about original Xbox custom soundtracks. What are they? I'm going to tell you. So let's go back to history for a minute here, where the original PlayStation 1, when you first started up without a game. Some people, why would you do that? When you first did it, you saw a memory card and a music symbol, and you thought, what the fuck is that? So you click on the music and you can play music. That's cool, because the PlayStation 1 uses audio files. We won't get into that because we're not talking about PlayStation, we're talking about Xbox. So then PlayStation 2, right, was like, oh, because we've got to use a DVD laser to put more storage on the media for more games, we're going to let everyone play DVDs on the console. Which for a lot of people and our parents, they were like, oh, VHS is phasing out. We've got to put this, you know, this is such a great selling point. It's fantastic. And obviously Microsoft, not being stupid, they weren't far behind in this idea. So they also included it. But they went the extra mile because the PlayStation 2 was maybe a few steps behind, but not too many steps behind with the hard drive idea. Because you can install a hard drive in a PS2. But the original Xbox had one from factory. So they went the extra mile to explore what they could do with this, and with a lot of their games too, such as Halo and Doom 3 and Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. They load sort of like cache files onto the hard drive to make the game run faster and look better. But what else did they do? So, much like what I just said, with the PlayStation 1, you've got memory, and you've got music, Xbox Live after that update, and settings. So let's go into here. So if you have an audio CD, has to be an audio CD. It can be a burnt CD, but you'll be fucking your laser, so I wouldn't recommend that. It has to be a real CD. You can't use MP3s. A lot of people have made MP3 tapes around 2000 and 2006 for their cars. You can't use that either, which is really annoying. And you have to label every single one by yourself on a controller. Now these days it's so hard, but back then when using an on-screen keyboard with a controller was a new thing, holy fucking shit. If you went to the forefront of fucking going through that pain, God bless you, and we salute you. And especially my uncle, because if you have a quick look here, all this music is labelled, right? Let's put on some, yeah, right. Oh no, fuck Nirvana. Let's put on Phil Collins, and they're all labelled. Oh yeah, fuck it. Oh, Susu Studios and Spot, right? But fuck yeah. And then you've got this there. Cool. And there's almost no spelling mistakes on there, and capital letters and all that. We've got a good champion. But this is a gimmick nowadays, and even back then it was sort of a gimmick. A lot of people probably see the PlayStation 2 and they see their Crash Bandicoot and they think, oh, well, would I buy an original Xbox just to load music to my hard drive? That's such a gimmick. Well, it might be. But I'm about to tell you the coolest thing ever that I'd actually discovered by accident, because my uncle told me about this, and he told me about this feature, and he was like, this is so cool. And me loving music, I was like, I'd love to have something in my bedroom that has all my music already on there. And because computers were so much more expensive back then, this was such a fucking great idea. Why is it such a good idea? Let me fucking tell you and get to the point. Let's go. Alright, let's go to my Xbox original collection of the ones that aren't pirated, because if you don't have a modern Xbox or you didn't have one, you suck. So, custom soundtracks. I don't know if you how well you can see that because my camera's shit. Custom soundtracks, champion. So, some games supported it differently and better than others. The Grand Theft Auto one I found the best because I found it by accident, and I was playing Vice City, and no, maybe it was, I think it was GTA 3, and I usually listen to Game FM, so I was like, oh, they've got fucking Akon and 50 Cent here, because that's what I used to listen to as a kid, so I was like, oh, that's so cool. They put that in GTA 3. That wasn't in the PS2 version. That's what they must mean by custom soundtracks. And then, like, I pressed the change channel button, and then it went to more music, and I read the channel, and I was like, ah, wait, this is the coolest fucking thing anyone has ever done ever. This is my own fucking music, and I can play this in the fucking game. What? You mean I can play my music in my fucking game? Ah, custom soundtracks? And with all these games, you would think, why would you want to? For example, Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 3 has the best soundtrack fucking ever. Why would you want to have a custom soundtrack when the soundtrack there is perfectly fine? Well, I don't know. It does get boring if you're trying to get the fucking highest scores, I'll tell you that. So it was good that I found out my uncle had Soul Pilots on here, because I couldn't fucking listen to Redman, like, for the fucking 100th time after fucking finishing that game. Holy shit. Anyway, so, very good feature, and that was just fantastic. That's a lot, but today it's a big gimmick. No, like, you can rip CDs to your PS3 and to your 360. Yes, you can. Apparently GTA 4 and GTA 5 supports custom soundtracks. I don't know how, and I haven't looked into it, but I don't think anyone would have ever noticed it, because who would rip CDs to their 360 or their PS3? Like, I think a few people did, but considering that the hard drives are only 60 gigabytes and the games got big really quickly, you probably would have had them on there, and if you were like me, you were like, oh, I'm going to rip them, and then you were like, oh, no, I better delete them. That's pretty, I don't want them there anymore, because I haven't got enough space. And I had a 120 gigabyte hard drive, but like for a long time I only had the arcade, so they didn't go anywhere, you know. So yeah, that fucking was such a great feature. Maybe a gimmick to some, but I thought it was the fucking coolest thing ever. Like, fuck yeah, music. To all people, music isn't important. So, fuck you. But this was a great idea, and I'm disappointed no one else has talked about this more. So, at this point, if you have had enough of me talking, so I'll name a couple of games that featured this. Burnout 3 being one of them, the Tony Hawk series, the Grand Theft Auto series, and there was an actual karaoke game, but I never really got that to work properly because I didn't have the mic. You can. How about I just link that? I'll link that instead because we'll be here all night. So, if you enjoyed this video, that's good, but I'm going to be here for another couple of minutes. If you're into the technical stuff for my modding friends that didn't know this or do know this, or if you've put music on your original Xbox and you want to get it off, because stock, you can't get the music on there, it's stuck there forever, which is really fucking annoying. And you also can't, even if you mod your Xbox, you can't put MP3s on it. You can, but it doesn't work in the custom soundtrack. There is actually a database program I found on Windows once and tried to use it, and I think it corrupted my whole database file. This is on another Xbox. I wouldn't fucking go there. Just use, this is the best way to do it. Just use the original Xbox dashboard. So, for my technical friends and all my non-Xbox friends, I'm about to show you something really cool about all the technical stuff. So, let's reset the Xbox and watch the best fucking animation in the fucking world. If it will turn on because it's been having problems. There we go. I think the traces are fucked, which is a big shame because I love this Xbox. It's got an old IDE hard drive in it, so it's slow as fuck. I'm gonna need to put a 2 terabyte in it soon. So, you want to get your music off your Xbox. so glad that you could come to visit. So, right. This is XBMC, it's a modded Xbox dashboard. This is an old one, it's quite fucking outdated, but I don't really play it anymore, so I don't see any point updating it. So, if you go into music, you can add source and you can add any MP3s. You can also stream like a Samba server, like on your Xbox 360 or PS3. It's pretty average, I don't use it. And then you can, add your source and go browse, and then it has MS soundtracks. So, and it has all the labels here, but they don't transfer, unfortunately. Because if you go in, Guns N' Roses, and the track names are here too, but then they label them as .wmas over there, if you can see. Now I can't remember how to get it to stop. There we go. So if you go to File Manager, go to your E drive. This is where all your saves are. So you've got TDATA and UDATA. TDATA is for your DLCs, and UDATA is for your saves, from what I understand, right? So you go to your TDATA, and you go to a file called FFFE0000, right? And inside there is music. Pretty cool, right? So, you can FTP all this data off. FTP is File Transfer Protocol, Google that. You can actually get it off your hard drive if you unlock it, but I wouldn't recommend that because you will most likely fuck it. Because the Xbox uses its own format, FATX, which is like FAT32, but just stay the fuck away from it, use FTP. So there's all the music there, and it still works, but it's all labelled funny. I don't know if you can see that. So it's got all these weird labels that are labelled like save games, but they're all grouped correctly, but they're just not named right. So you have to start from the beginning, unfortunately, if you bothered to do all that. And if you right-click properties on your Windows computer, you can't see any other information there either. So that's also unfortunate. So anyway, the .wav file is actually quite high quality. So like, if you have any music that you've lost, this video might actually help you rather than me just ranting. And yeah, so I think the only last thing I can touch on really is that this isn't the only console that has this feature. I think I might have already mentioned that. You can't in the other versions of Grand Theft Auto on PC, you can actually put a folder called MP3 and use the custom tracks. And on the PSP, I'm pretty sure you might have been able to do it too for Vice City Stories. So it's not like the Xbox is the holy grail in this situation. There are other games that did it. It's just that the Xbox was one of the first, and it was one of the loudest. It was like, this is a feature we have. We're really... And it was just quite simple to do. So, yeah. If I didn't mention already, you can only use 5,000 songs. I don't know if I forgot to remember that because I've done this video so many times. So, you can only use 5,000 songs regardless of the modification on the Xbox or the tracks. If you have like 1 second tracks, made 5,000 of them, it comes up with an error saying 5,000 song limit. I don't know if you can remove that, and if any of my modding friends know if you can, I would like to know, because that's kind of fucking annoying, especially if you've got a 2TB hard drive in there and it comes up with a song limit and you're like, cool, thanks. I'm pretty sure that's probably there due to the games, because even if you modified it, the games probably wouldn't read it correctly. Because of like, it probably just needs a limit because it probably lag or whatever. Anyway, as I said, if I didn't say, I wrote a script so I made sure I cover everything and not get too lost and annoy everyone, because I can't be fucked to edit the video. Alright. Yeah, so this feature might have been forgotten about to some, because of the PlayStation 2 and the GameCube being bigger in the market, and you know, this being something from 20 years ago. So if you're around the same age as me and fucking love music, you know, this is fucking cool. And if you own an original Xbox, maybe you might want to explore this feature. But I wouldn't feel like my uncle and label literally fucking everything, since not all the games support being able to view the names of the tracks. Alright. I suppose Godspeed, and like and subscribe and share, and or don't, I don't fucking care. I just want you guys to know all about this.